Arion.
We'll chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Inhale deeply. Om. Om. Sahana bhavatu. Sahanao bhunaktu. Sah veeryam karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vedvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. So welcome back. We are covering chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, where we're talking about Bhagwan has given the description of like 3 types of mudhas. I mean, people who are deluded, and 4 types of bhaktas, who are the devotees. And obviously, like all among those devotees, the best of them is jnani. And jnani is not something that can is not the beginning. I mean, it's not a starting point. Jnani is a end goal. Okay? So nobody becomes jnani outright. Rather, you start as artha or arthati, and eventually you go to jnana. So, and this is going to take quite a bit of time. So, however, we all need to put our best efforts. As we are putting our best efforts, it so happens based on our ajnana, etc., because we are not at the level of jnani yet, sometimes we see, we show like we project our weaknesses on Bhagwan. Okay. As in, Bhagwan gets angry, Bhagwan gets happy, Bhagwan. Uh, uh, even if you read certain kathas, etc., you see that Bhagwan gets so angry then when someone promised him something and doesn't do. So these are all the things that we project our weaknesses on Bhagwan. So then what happens? We treat Bhagwan as a little better version of us. I mean, like a little bit, not even better, like a little bit more powerful version of us who can satisfy our desires in one area or another area. When that is done, what happens is that we say that, oh, for removal of my particular sorrows, I'll go to Shani Bhagwan. For removal of any um, Shatru, right? As an enemy issues, I'll go to Narasimha Swami. I'll like that, we have a list, and we try to what we see is that God as limited being, because we also say Bhagavan, please take care of it. And then we doubt if Bhagavan has heard or not. So we say next morning also the same thing. Bhagavan, please take care of me this way or that way, etc. So what is happening is that when this happens, what Lord Krishna is saying is that it doesn't matter, because no matter whom we reach, how we reach, eventually everything goes to the same Ishvara. And what he is promising is that no matter how we reach him, whichever format we reach him, the first and foremost that is required is Shraddha, faith in the divinity. To get the faith in divinity, he is the one who is giving the results. I mean, like whatever you want. I mean, like the thing, whatever you want, just because I want something, Bhagavan is not going to give that. Rather, what happens is from our past, some karma phala is fructified, meaning some results of previous actions are fructified, and they come and we say that, oh, okay, so we have achieved this. So but the first and foremost is Bhagavan gives Shraddha. Okay? And Bhagavan now says and Jnani, on the other hand, what happens? Why is he giving this Shraddha? Is he wants you to become Jnani. He wants us to become Jnani. And what is the Lakshana of Jnani? One characteristics of this Jnani is Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Vasudeva Sarvam Iti means one alone is everything. One alone is everything means not just in the things that I see around, but also in the people that I see around, in the animals that I see around, living and non-living beings. And that doesn't preclude me as well. So that means that whatever I think I am is none other than the Lord alone. There's nothing in me that is separate and different from the Lord, because this, we say, Brahman is infinite. The infinite cannot envelop everything but me. Okay, so it infinite envelopes everything in and through me as well. So there is no, for me, there is no individual identity, and whatever identity I think I am is actually Lord alone. So this is the idea that the Jnani has. But what we saw in last session is that we were covering 24th verse. It said, Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam Manyante Mama Abuddhaya Param Bhavam Ajananto Mam Avyayam Anuttamam. But what happens is that people who, majority of us, we cannot really understand his true nature. So here, Lord was talking about himself as Ishvara. Okay, so why cannot? Because Bhagavan is Avyaktam. Avyaktam means unmanifest, and Avyaktam and Vyaktam. So one that has been unmanifest, and he appears to be manifest. I mean, he appears to be visible as Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, etc. When you see, when the people around him, when they see the Lord, they think that Lord is a person with this particular form. So when they think that the Lord is with this particular form, anything other than that form is negated as not Bhagwan. So that is a problem, right? So then you start thinking that Lord is not Ishvara. Okay, Ishvara means one who is omnipresent, right? Omnipresent. And so one who is associated with Maya, the same Brahman who is associated with Maya, and the reason for the creation of this universe, sustenance of this universe, and the dissolution of this universe. So, continuing that thought process, where Bhagavan is talking about that I, both as Avatara as well as Ishvara, okay, what is his true nature is being described here. So, we will chant verse number 25. So, I will break down the words and then we will chat. Naham. Naham means na aham. Two words are there. Na aham. Prakashaha. Sarvasya. There are single words. Yogamaya samavrutaha. Yoga Maya Samavrutaha. So there are three words in there as a samasa. Okay, so Yoga Maya Samavrutaha. Mudhoyam. Mudhoyam again has two words in there. Mudha Ayam Nabhijanati. So this Nabhijanati again has two words. Na Abhijanati. Loho, there's loka, but with when it is having a sandhi, with the next word, it becomes loko mamajam avyayam. It has got three words. Mam, ajam, avyayam. It becomes mamajam avyayam. So one of you please go off mute. Naham prakasha sarvasya.
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य
Yogamaya samavritah.
योगमाया समावृतः
Mudhoyam nabhijanati.
मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति
Loko mamajamavyayam.
लोको मामजमव्ययम्.
Bhagavan is saying that na aham, na is not, no. Okay, so na aham prakashaha sarvasya. Why? So what does it mean? Na aham, I am not prakashaha. Prakasha means light, but in this context, prakashaha means he is being expressed in his real nature, sarvasya, everywhere. So that means that nobody can actually see his true nature. Naham prakasha sarvasya. Well, if nobody can see his true nature, then what is the point? Okay, but no, it's not like that. Well, no, it says no one sees Lord's real nature. That means it is not seen by many people. Okay, the true nature of Lord, it cannot be seen. Seen means again, it's not necessarily physically see with the eyes. Okay, it is understood by many people, but it is understood by some people, like the great bhaktas and the devotees. Okay, so that is naham prakashaha sarvasya. Why? Because yogamaya samavritaha. Why? Because I am samavritaha means, okay, so I am samavritaha means veiled. I am veiled by yoga maya. Now this yoga maya is so maya, which is of which is with the power of three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, it is veiling. Now this yoga maya samavritaha, yoga maya came twice. I mean, like we got it in, I think in verse number 14, right, in this same chapter, where it said, Daivihi, Daivihi, Esha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mameva Ye Prapadyante, Mayam Etam Taranti. So here, this Maya, again, my Maya, okay, which is Gunamayi, which has got Guna. Mama Maya is my Maya, which is Gunamayi, means which is made up of three gunas. What is happening is that is veiling everyone, and because of which nobody can cross this samsara. And the only way to cross samsara is to come closer and closer to me. The more closer you come to me, the less impact that Maya has. So it is said that An example, I think somewhere else it is given, is like an analogy that is given is a fisherman goes into a river or wherever, right? Pond, river, or wherever to fish. So he has a net and he casts a wide net. When he casts this wide net, what happens? He catches many fish or all the fish, whatever. So which ones are the ones that escape the net? Which fish are the ones that escape the net? Are the ones that are closer to his feet. Meaning the fisherman is also in the water. Remember, like when he's putting this net, when he's spreading the net, he's putting this widely. When he puts this, when he spreads this net widely, so net has gone far and wide, and it is catching all the fish. But the beginning of the net is very small, and at his place, near his feet, there is no real net. So the fish that are closer to his feet are saved from the net and they are not caught in that net. In the same way, Bhagavan, when he spreads this Maya, when this Maya is projected, the one who are close to his feet, they are exempted. I mean, like they are able to cross over this Maya. So that was what was told in the verse 14. So that Yoga Maya, so again, that Yoga Maya is what is being referred. I am na aham prakasha sarvasya. I cannot be seen by like I cannot, nobody can really experience my true nature other than few Mahatmas. Okay? Why? Because this Maya, Yoga Maya, this Maya, that is, what is it doing? It is making me united with my false self. Okay, anatma. Okay, so for example, what is anatma? Ahankara. Okay, and the other like mana, buddhi, chitta. So these are antarendriyas, and then karmendriyas, which are my 5 organs of action. Jnanendriyas, my 5 organs of senses. This body, all of this is anatma, which is not my true nature. But what this Maya is doing, it is uniting me with this and saying that, okay, this body is me. Okay, I think that body is me. And whenever an object is seen, right? I'm not saying that my eyes have seen this. Instead, what I okay, so okay, I'm not saying that I'm seeing this object. I'm not saying that my eyes have seen this object. Rather, I'm saying I have seen this object. Means what? I am identifying. I'm uniting with my eyes, which are jnanendriyas. When something is heard, I'm saying I heard, which means I am identifying with the another jnanendriya, which is hearing. Like this, what is and whenever I have a good thought, I'm saying that I am happy. Whenever I'm having a bad thought, I'm saying that I am unhappy. So all of this, what is happening is that I'm associating and identifying with different aspects of the body. I mean, like this Thula Sukshma Karna Sharira, right? I mean, with all these Indriyas, etc. And none of them are my true nature. None of them are my true self. So this is what is happening with Maya. So this is what Maya is making me associated with. My yoga Maya is also making me to go through this. This is my challenge. Now, this Maya is, so we classify Maya as in different ways. One way of classification is we say that Maya is made up of 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Then Maya, from its power perspective, we say that it has 2 powers, okay, veiling power and projection. So that is what is called? They called the Avarna Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. Then we also say that Maya has 3 powers, from a different perspective. How it has Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Ichha Shakti. Okay. So like that, again, we classify it in a different way. Now, in the same way, I mean, in a similar model, we also classify Maya as two categories. One is called Avidya Maya and other is called Vidya Maya. So the Maya, remember, like we said, Maya has got Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. When the portion of Maya that is with Rajas and Tamas is called as Avidya Maya. Avidya means ignorance, right? Why? What happens is that whenever I am in the mood of Rajas, right? If my mental mood is agitation, etc., that means there's no focus on God, and I am only going to live in this world. I mean, I'm only going to associate myself with the world. Similarly, when I'm lazy, when I am deluded with tamas, again, I am only associated with this world, and I continue to be associated with this world, going through samsara, one life after other, life after other. So these two together, okay, these two, Maya associated with these two qualities together is called as avidya Maya. Now, what about Maya associated with only with sattva? When that Maya is associated with sattva alone, the purity, etc., it helps me get to associate with the higher supreme. So that is why it is called as Vidya Maya. So Vidya Maya is focused with Sattva Guna. Avidya Maya has primarily Rajas and Tamo Guna. Okay. Now, when Yogamaya Samavritaha, when Bhagavan says, is primarily referring to the Avidya Maya. So now, all our efforts as sadhakas, as seekers, is focusing on this Vidya Maya and praying to Maya, because Maya is the one that has bound us, and Maya is the one that releases us. So this Vidya Maya is going to release us, and because of that, we are praying to Maya alone to release us. So whatever pujas we do, okay, like Saundarya Lahari and so on with the Lalita Sahasranam, or etc. All of this is to get rid of, help us to get out of Maya alone. Okay, so this is Yoga Maya Samavutaha. Mudhoyam na adhijanati. Okay, so Mudha ayam. Okay. So here ayam means me. Okay. So me is like, again, not just me. Mudha, sorry, actually, like I am here, it is referring to not me, but this person, okay? Mudha I am, okay? Mudha I am is this person who is Mudha, this Mudha, na abhijanati. Abhijanati means no. So that means the person who, even though someone is standing in front of the Lord, okay, they don't see the real nature of the Lord. Okay, so this, for example, even in Lord Krishna's time, there's so many people who knew that he is God and treated him as God. For example, Vidura is one, okay, who Vidura is much older than Lord Krishna, but whenever he sees Lord Krishna, he doesn't see like, oh, I'm older than you, etc. Nothing like that. He treats him like Lord. And one of the famous stories is that Vidura actually, like at the time of the mediate, just before the war, Lord Krishna goes to Hastinapura, where Kauravas kingdom was there. And he was asked to stay. Dhritarashtra etc. asked him to stay in the palace, but he refused and he stayed with Vidura. Now, when Vidura was there, it is said that Vidura was so happy to see Lord that he started feeding him bananas. I'm not sure if it is actually in Bhagavatam or Mahabharata, where exactly it is. I don't know the source, but it's a very beautiful story where he started feeding him bananas. Now, the thing is that he was so focused on Bhagwan that he was peeling each banana and then he's throwing away the banana and he was giving the peel to Bhagwan. And Bhagwan was also so happy to see Vidura that he was eating all the banana peels. And it was continuing until Vidura's wife came and she saw the pile of empty like bananas, peeled bananas there, and saw what was going on, and she yelled at Vidura. And then, of course, they both, Vidura came back to his senses. But that is something that the power of love between God and his devotee. Why? Because from Bhagwan's perspective, banana peel, what difference does it make? Everything is him alone. So with what intent the bhakta, the devotee is feeding him, that is what is more important, because everything in this world is he alone anyway, right? But on the same hand, at the same time, what happened? This is a bhakta. In the same example, what happened? He went to Duryodhana. He went to Kaurava Sabha. And he said that, okay, so I came as an ambassador of Pandavas. You should give them due share, etc. And then there was a tense moment, and Duryodhana decides to actually tie up Lord Krishna. Now, this is an interesting thing. Okay, so Duryodhana knows Bhagwan as Lord to some extent. Why? Because in the same sabha, in the same court, a while ago, 13 years ago or something like that, what happened? Draupadi was being disrobed, and it was Lord Krishna's grace that she was not disrobed, and that everybody knows. Everybody knew, including Duryodhana. So he knows the power, because and Krishna was not there in that court. But with his power, he helped her. Now, this is something that Duryodhana knows. And Duryodhana knows the power of Krishna because he heard a lot about Lord Krishna, right? In terms of his physical prowess, etc. And yet he tried to arrest him. He tried to tie him up. So in that way, Duryodhana gets to see the Vishwarupa Darshana of Lord Krishna. Okay. Now, like as far as I know, okay, there will be more instances, but as far as I know, the Vishwarupa Darshana, meaning the celestial form of Lord, was shown to three people. One was to Mother Yashoda when she was young. When Lord was young. She saw the thing, and when she was able to realize what it is, Lord has veiled her again with Maya. So that way, she won't treat him as God, rather she will treat him as her own son. So that is one. Where with a love-based, okay, there was a veiling was done. Then Arjuna has seen the Vishwarupa again. When Arjuna sees, we will see that in our this Gita in 11th chapter. When Arjuna saw that he was of it, his elation is of a different kind and his understanding is different kind. Now, when Duryodhana saw this Vishwarupa, if he was a little bit smart enough, little bit smarter, he could have seen Bhagavan right in front of him and like simply bowed at his feet. He fell at his feet and said, Bhagavan, forget about this world or this kingdom, that kingdom, just give me moksha. Okay, which is moksha is beyond everything. But he didn't ask anything like that. So this is what? Mudha. So even though when Lord is right in front of him, he did not see his nature. Okay. So what is happening is that unfortunately, we are also to some extent like that. Okay. So mudhas, where we don't see the nature, like the God. Why? Because the nature of God is, what it is said is, Mudham Najanjalogo, Mam Ajam Avyayam. Okay? Meaning, my nature is Ajam, unborn. Unborn. Okay? Because anything, what do you mean by unborn? Anything that is born means there was a time before which it was not born. Okay, so that means there is something that is preceding that birth date. So Bhagwan doesn't have any birth date or a time of birth. He was always there. And whatever is born in the universe, in this world, is subject to death. Okay, so Bhagwan being unborn, he cannot die. Okay, so this deathlessness, because the deathlessness is what is called as, is termed in this particular example as avyayam. Okay, avyayam, vyayam means expendable. Okay, expendable means expense, as in like it flows out. Now, avyayam means it cannot be expended, means it is there forever. So this is the nature of Bhagwan. So, for example, simple example is something like this. If I ask you, okay, look around your room and what all do you see? You don't have to say, but look around the room. Okay. Looked around, saw a few things. Okay. If I ask you to list, okay, what are you listing? You list walls, okay, some furniture, some paintings, or whatever that are adorning the room, etc., the computer, etc. Right? Now, how many of you, okay, please, you can come unmute and let me know if you actually counted this. Did you count the light in the room in which, because of which you're able to see?
No. No.
What about space in the room? Did you focus on the space and said, okay, so there's so much space in this room?
No. Yes.
No.
I did.
Okay, you did. Okay. So when you looked at space, you looked at, okay, so there, what is the space that you looked is in terms of, oh, this has got some maybe 20 by 20 room or something like that. And then your space is in terms of, okay, this is in terms of volume and things like that, volume and square footage, that is the space you looked into. But this space, everything exists in space. So that kind of a space, did you notice, or the square footage slash volume kind of space you noticed?
I just noticed the air, like the space means the air that is present in and out.
Yeah. Okay. So that is good. That's good. But what happened is we did not focus on light. We did not focus usually, like when I'm talking about space, the absolute space in which everything is there, we did not notice. Now, this light and space, if we did not notice, why did not we notice? Is because it is there. It is there all the time. So when we are used to something that is there all around us from the time of our birth to death, our ability to notice it becomes lesser and lesser. Okay? So, for example, if you ask a deep sea water fish, what is water? Okay, now let's say it can speak back to you. It doesn't know what water is. Okay, because it is born in water, it was raised in water, and it dies in water. So water is everywhere around it. Maybe like a dolphin or something like that whale, it comes out a little bit, so it may know the difference between water and non-water. Okay, uh, but whereas a deep sea fish was born in there, dies in there, so it doesn't know. Okay, for us also, until we went to school and someone talked about space, air around us, we did not know about the concept of air. We did not know about the concept of space. None of these concepts were taught to us. I mean, like, were known to us naturally. So, because God is Avyaya, okay, God is Ajam, because God is unborn, and he is there all the time, all around us, including inside and outside us. Our ability to see the presence becomes very difficult. So, for example, like when Ramana Maharshi ji, one of the devotees came to Ramana Maharshi ji and said, "Do you see God, Maharshi ji?" Do you know this incident? So a devotee asked, so Ramana Maharshi was addressed as Bhagwan, right? So yeah, probably he was asked, Bhagwan, do you see God? He said, yes, I do. Can you show me God? Of course, yes. Show me God. See, here is God. What do you mean by here is God? This is just a finger, right? Now, think about, how did you see that finger? With my eyes. Okay? How did your eyes recognize that it is a finger? Because of your mind. How is that your mind able to compute that it is a finger? Because of my previous knowledge. Yes, yes, yes. But where did the ability to see and compute has come to you in you? That is only because of the presence of Chaitanya as Chit in you, right? The God in you, you are able to see this finger. Okay, and that itself is God. Okay, so that Chaitanya alone is God. I mean, this is how the discussion has gone. But the thing is that I heard it through second hand, so I might have distorted the actual conversation. But here is the Ajam and Avyayam. Now, there's another reason why Ajam and Avyayam are, both words are used. He did not specify with Ajam and leave it there. Why? Because in our Vedanta, etc., there are multiple things which are beginningless. For example, Maya is beginningless. Jiva is beginningless. But Maya and karmas are karma phala, right? Those are also beginningless. These are not beginningless, but they all have an end. Okay? When does Maya end? The moment Maya ends, you become Jivan Mukta. You attain liberation. Right? So that's when Maya ends. Then your Jivatva also ends. Then your karmas also end. So all of them doesn't have a beginning, but they have an end. But then the question is, Of course, Bhagwan is the only one that doesn't end. But why are these Maya, etc., considered beginningless? Okay. So Maya, Jiva, Karma Phala, etc., they are considered as beginningless for a particular reason. Not the same reason why Bhagwan is considered as beginningless. Whenever you say that there is a beginning, right, a particular time zero, when it has been created, there must be an observer to notice the creation. When there is no observer, you don't know when it is created. So, I mean, like as and when, I mean, like we came into Earth, right? As and when we are born, this Earth is there. When was Earth created? Okay. So it was there from the time I was born. It is there. So I don't know when it is created. Now, if you ask Abrahamic religions, they say Earth was created about 5,000 years ago. Well, God has created Earth about 5,000 years ago, and then Adam and Eve, etc. Now, when you ask scientists, they say Earth was created some billions of years ago when it came from, when there was a, what do you call, like the explosion in sun, and all those pieces came out and they became planets, right? And then, so now, how do you prove either 5,000 years ago or this scientist theory or even whatever or Vedanta says? How do you prove? They are all based upon some kind of inference, right? See, there's some kind of a carbon dating is there. Okay, this took so much that. I mean, there's some calculations, and they are all those calculations are based on some hypothesis and some assumptions. So, but when exactly it has been created, nobody knows. For us, for someone to know when it has been created, an observer should be there, and that observer should precede the creation of these things. So, this jivatva or this kind of a thing, they all came much later. By that time, Maya was already there, Jivas are already there, Karmas are already there, Jivatva, Karma, all of them are created. And only later on, this Jivatva started assuming, Ahankara started assuming that I am the doer, I am the seer. Once they started doing that, that is when the observership has come. See, for observer, there should be three things. A subject and an object and a relationship between them. So that means me as a subject must see an object, right? So I should be there and an object should be there. Only then I can observe something. And that observation is based on a particular relationship. So that must be within my vicinity, right? Where I can see. So for example, if I say I see a telephone, that means what? I am there, telephone is there, and a particular relationship existed between me and telephone. What? Me seeing the telephone. If I am here and telephone is somewhere in Houston, I can see the telephone. In which case, there's no relationship between me and that object, right? So this subject, object, and the relationship between the subject and the object, these three are called as Triputi. It's called Triputi. Only when there is a Triputi, then observation, etc., all of those are possible. So because Maya, Jivas, Karma, Karma means Karma Phala, they all were created before this Triputi was created. As a result, they are all called as Anadi. So Maya is considered as Anadi, beginningless. Jiva is considered as Anadi, beginningless. And because one of the common questions is, you hear all the time is, I mean, you may not have this question right now, but The question that people have is, you see, I am product of my past. That's what you're saying. Prarabdha karma. And that is what is causing me this birth. Tell me, where is the first karma started? Where did the first karma start? Okay. How did I come into existence? And how did this, how come I started, how did I end up doing karmas? Okay. So now let's go through the linear scale of time scale, and let's go to time zero when I was created, and when karmas are created, and me performing those karmas. So that is a question that many people have. Now this assumes the linearity of time, and as if there was a time t0, that is when everything came into existence, and prior to that, nothing existed. But our Vedanta says that this whole creation, I mean, like one of the models of creation is that everything came at once. Okay, everything came at once means, think about like a movie. Okay, now in movie, there's a, like the opening scene has, like let's say it's about Mahabharata story. Two armies are lined up on both sides. Now this is the scene. Now when you see that, did the creation started happening where Earth was created, and on Earth humans were created? So then one human was created, then another human is created, and their children are created, and then all of them came to that war field, right, with horses, etc. No, no, no. Right in the opening scene itself, everything is there at once. Okay, it is projected. Okay, so in the same way, the whole idea is that these Maya, Jivas, karmas, they're all projected at the same time. Okay, because of that, there is no first karma. There is no beginning for Jiva. There is no beginning for Maya. However, all of them can end. Okay, so that's why we're talking about Mam Ajam Avyayam. When Bhagavan says Mam Ajam Avyayam, I am unborn and I am imperishable. Whereas Jivas, etc., Maya, etc., they can be perishable. So this true nature of Bhagavan cannot be seen by many people. Okay, so this is where Bhagavan is talking about. So I'll pause here and see if you have any questions.
Venkat, I think not the exact question, but again, one clarification on one thing that was explained, right? This is on the Krishna's Vishwarupa. I thought even Karna has seen Krishna's Vishwarupa. No?
So probably Karna might have seen Vishwarupa of Krishna when at Duryodhana's palace, when Duryodhana was trying to tie him up.
No, I thought when Karna was dying, and that's when, again, I just watched a movie, so I have no idea. That's how it was shown. When Karna was dying, then Krishna was showing the Vishwarupa. So,
I am not aware of it.
okay.
Maybe it is true. Because see, the thing is that like Mahabharata, I haven't read Mahabharata.
Okay.
It is too big. Okay, so I did not. So what was it like? Whatever Mahabharata I read is abridged, not unabridged. So only, so that's why. And then there could be some variations in story in Mahabharata stories also, especially now. There's a lot of revisionism about our Puranas in recent TV shows or movies, etc. Right? So where they're trying to make Karna as good as Arjuna or better than Arjuna. They are trying to make they are trying to compare Radha and Rukmini, and apparently, like in some shows, Rukmini is shown some kind of a villain. Almost because she snatched Lord away from Radha or something like that. Okay, so those kind of like interesting things that are shown, which are not necessarily true. And because you're all South Indians, right? Do you remember like a old movie called Maya Bazar?
Yeah.
So interestingly, all of that is a fake movie, right? So first of all, what was Abhimanyu's wife according to that is Shesharekha, right? Okay. There's no character as Shesharekha in Mahabharata at all. Okay. So, I mean, that the whole thing is just a imagination. I mean, like the thing is like, okay, because it is a Puranic movie, when I saw that, I thought that was true. And when later on, when I realized that it is actually, there's no character named Shashireka, it is a creation that is primarily done. The Shashireka creation was primarily done in both Andhra is in Telugu states, both Telugu states and Karnataka. Whereas outside of these two states, it is not there. Just because the movie was made and it is probably dubbed into other languages, Tamil Nadu, etc. Also now believe that Shashreka and was another wife of Abhimanyu, etc. But it is not true. So sometimes people do create. That is that's one side, and the other side is that I did not read it. The unabridged
Yeah,
version.
not a problem. Okay.
So,
Okay.
any other thoughts or questions?
Abhimanyu has a wife, right? Like Uttara.
Uttara is his wife, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uttara is his wife. And yeah, so with Uttara, Parikshit is Uttara's son. He is born after the war is done, after the Mahabharata war. Ashwatthama actually throws Brahmastra on Uttara to kill the womb of the baby in the womb. So at that time, Uttara runs for help from Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna actually stops that Brahmastra, and by going into Uttara's womb and protecting the womb, because the child is protected by Lord Vishnu himself, the child who is born was named Vishnurata. One meaning the child, the one who is protected by Lord Vishnu. Now, the baby in the womb has seen Lord Vishnu, as in like Lord Krishna. Now, when he is born, whoever comes to him, he would look carefully if this is the same person that he has seen in his womb. Okay, all the time. So even though his birth name is Vishnurata, because he was doing a closer inspection and examination of everyone who is coming close to him, that is called pariksha. Okay, so he was looking at, he was called as Parikshit. Okay, so that's how he is popular. And then and then he actually does a small mistake, and he because of which he was cursed to be killed by a snake called Takshaka. And when Takshaka kills him, I mean, like, so that when he is so when he hears that, he gets ready to, I mean, he gets ready to be dying, because he was cursed to be killed within 1 week after that or something like that. So he has 1 week. He sat in the river bank, ready to die. And then Sage Shuka comes to him, and then he narrates the story of entire Bhagavatam. So Sage Shuka is the narrator of Bhagavatam, and then Parikshit is the primary listener of Bhagavatam. Then at the end of Bhagavatam, so that means that's why, and the entire Bhagavatam is told in 7 days. So that's why we do Bhagavat Saptaha in 7 days. Now, after that, Takshaka comes and he bites the Parikshit and he dies. I mean, Parikshit is he's absolutely okay with his punishment. He never tried to get rid of his punishment. But then his son is Janamejaya. Janamejaya was probably young when Parikshit dies. So when he grows up and when he hears that his father was killed by a snake, he starts doing a Sarpa Yaga where within that Yaga all Sarpas, meaning all snakes, are being given as Ahuti into that fire. So Takshaka goes and prays to Indra to save him. Indra says, "You hold on to my chair and you're saved." So Takshaka like twists himself around the chair's leg, and then when the sages here say, "May Taksha become and burnt in this fire," nothing was happening. So then the sages see what's happening, and they say, "May the Takshaka, along with the Indra's chair, come and be burnt in this fire." And then this chair and Takshaka together were coming. Then Indra gets very worried. And then, because it is, I mean, like one is that Indra as a shown as in stories, etc., is one thing, but like Indra Padavi, meaning the role of Indra itself is going to be destroyed, means it is not good for humanity or the balance of cosmos. So then Indra, along with some other sages, come and convince Janamejaya to stop the yajna right then and there, and then they talk about the greatness of his ancestors, and that is how Mahabharata is told. So for Mahabharata, Janamejaya is the primary audience. Okay, so Janamejaya, because he doesn't know anything that happened prior to him, so the entire Mahabharata is narrated to Janamejaya according to the Mahabharata. Anyway, let's so any other questions before we close? So shall we close then? Oh. पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। Thank you all. Have a great day and